Hi, folks, and welcome to the Star Wars Library, where Star Wars is in print, and the missus and I have finally moved and in our new house. And I am so happy that this whole thing is over. And now that we are back to our regularly scheduled programming, I am very excited and very much looking forward to moving forward. So, um, let's dive back in. Let's get back into this. So we're going to be starting where we left off in the Marvel series. We're going back to that in our chronology. We're still in 1979, to be specific, May of 1979. And we're going to be looking at three Marvel Star Wars books today. They're all single issues. There's no arc in all three of them. So I figured I'd just take all three of them and put them into one big review for you today. So we're going to look at issue number 27 first. And mind you, we're still in A Long Time Ago, Volume 2 by Dark Horse, this trade paperback. And this is probably, this is where I have pretty much all of the Marvel books, except for those few single issues, and then obviously 108, right? So anyways, this one is called Return of the Hunter, and this is it right here. Now, to recap before we last left off, R2-D2 has been damaged, right? He's been damaged, and they need to find parts on Junction. This is this place where they think that they can get a hold of these parts. So they decide to go there. Luke and the droids are going to go, and it's continuing off from 16, where we were introduced to the character of Valance. Now, Valance is a very, very cool character. We've talked about him before. In fact, he's probably my favorite character that has come from the Marvel series. I'll explain why in a minute. So he is a being who obviously we know is a cyborg, right? He's a droid, essentially. And what's interesting is that he does not like droids, not at all. He is very ire to droids. In fact, he's so then against those who are sympathetic to droids. So it's going to be interesting when Luke shows up, because how is he going to react to Luke? Because Luke is sympathetic to R2-D2 and C-3PO, right? So he's an interesting character, in that sense too. So he meets up with our heroes, and while on Junction, Valance has been blowing up droids in frustration. He's mad, he's angry, he's frustrated at his life, and he's just destroying these droids in anger. And so Luke ultimately does confront Valance, and what's really cool is there's kind of a cool moment where Valance shoots at Luke, and Luke blocks the shot with his lightsaber, which is still red in this for whatever reason. It's still red, but whatever. I guess we can't get the colors of lightsabers right. Whatever. Anyway, so Luke blocks the shot. Valance gets hit by it, and it rips part of his face open. So it's kind of like a Terminator kind of thing. And so it's just this cool psychological thing where this cyborg is trying to be human, as human as possible. And he just can't do it because ultimately he is a machine. And just a lot of psychological stuff that goes on with him. And again, this is in the Marvel stuff, and it's in a droid. So it's just so interesting to see that, and to see this conflict that Luke has with Valance. And so ultimately Valance walks away, because again, it's just this great psychological, and I don't want to spoil it because I think you should go check it out. So 27, thumbs up. Next issue is issue number 28, and this one's called Whatever Happened to Jabba the Hutt. That's issue here. This issue is widely considered to be the poster child for why people do not like the Marvel series. It is very, very bad. It is, a lot of things that are just wrong with it. Let me explain. So, it's called Cavern of the Crawling Death. And in it, Han and Chewie are trying to get off this planet to get away from these stone mites, who are these... they're kind of like locusts in a way, and they're taking out the Falcon, and they're trying to also escape, more than the stone mites or whatever. They're trying to escape from Jabba the Hutt. But here's the thing. This isn't the Jabba the Hutt that we are familiar with. No, no, no. This is the Jabba the Hutt that we saw in the A New Hope adaptation right here. All right? That is not Jabba the Hutt. Here's the thing. Remember, at this time, the special edition of A New Hope had not come out. And Return of the Jedi was still, 4 years away. So we had a while before we would finally see what Jabba the Hutt really looked like, or what George Lucas envisioned him to look like. And so they're going off of, what they were going to do in the A New Hope adaptation, which was this person, because they had a stand-in, remember, for A New Hope when they filmed that original scene with Harrison Ford, and when Han confronts Jabba. So it still has those errors there. And this issue, for the most part, and I'm not just saying this because it's not written that great, I don't think. It honestly is one of those things that, for the most part, is not really canon. This issue is more in the secondary canon tier, meaning that, some of this is canon, right? You could still say that some of these events happened, but is it Jabba the Hutt who is going after Han and Chewie and all that? No. Again, it's kind of in that weird sense there, and it ends weird, like Jabba the Hutt gets in a space suit and he's like, blowing stuff up, and then as you can see here, he's getting on the Millennium Falcon and he's trying to get him at the end. So it's a very weird story, and there's just these weird, instances, and it's just this strange thing, and honestly, folks, it's not that great of a story. And again, I'm not just saying that because it is secondary canon. It really is just kind of, it's not, I mean, it's it's whatever, but I'll quit ranting about this. So last issue we're going to talk about is probably my favorite of the three, and it's issue number 29, and it's called Dark Encounter. Now, we actually get to see some of this in a flashback in Marvel Star Wars 108, which we'll get to when I'm 60, right? Anyways, so it's bringing Darth Vader again, back into this. And Vader discovers Tyler Lucian. He's a rebel deserter, but he knows the name of the rebel who destroyed the Death Star. This is a big deal, right? Because, we know that Vader, in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, is trying to find that out. Eventually, if you've seen the opening crawl of Empire, he does know. But, he has to figure it out. So, this is really cool. It's bringing him back in. And so there's this person who looks like Luke Skywalker, and Valance is here, and he thinks, this is who the Empire wants. This is Luke Skywalker. He does kind of look like Luke Skywalker, but it's not the person. So he thinks that this is the person who did, find or is Luke Skywalker. Vader confronts Valance. Valance is like, ha ha ha, I know who it is, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, and all this, and so Valance and Vader actually get to confront one another, and it's a really good fight. I'm just trying to see if I can at least show you one panel here. You get to actually see Vader ignite his lightsaber and actually go into battle with Valance. It's such a good issue, and again, I don't want to spoil this because this is probably one of the best issues of the Marvel series. Might be my favorite. Honestly, it might be my favorite issue. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far fully, but it is definitely a contender. I do think it is absolutely fantastic and is an amazing read. And it's so cool to see these characters go at it and confront one another. Because Valance is such a cool character in the Marvel series, and it's cool to see Darth Vader, of all people, go up against him. So, in recap, are these three stories essential to your read? Are they essential to your, overall, expanding universe? Obviously, for the overall expanding universe, no, they are not. They really are not. This might help in terms of 108. If you have yet to pick that up, or maybe you've read it. If you've not read these are a good ways to help you enjoy it more, I think. But in terms of the Marvel series, if you're just reading the Marvel series, issues 27 and 29, oh my gosh, they are essential. I would highly encourage you not to skip these. And in fact, I would encourage you to read at least issue number 29, even if you're not reading the Marvel series, because it is that good. And again, this is early expanded universe material that we're going through, so it's really cool to see, you know, good quality content from these. Now, again, issue number 28, oh, absolutely not. Not essential. Even if you're reading the Marvel series, you can skip it. There's no reason for you to read that. It's not good at all. And so I would say skip 28, but 27 is very very good. But 29 is definitely something that, even if you're not checking out the Marvel series, I'd highly encourage you to do so, or at least that issue, because it is very, very well done. So that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Star Wars Library, and I look forward to seeing you again, where we get to talk about more Expanded Universe. Thank you, folks. See ya.